This is LBC. Carol McGiffin.
The second week I was away, I was in Bangkok. Now, I know, my favourite city in the world. Absolutely the most amazing time. I only went for 5 days. Well, 4 days, really. Did a bit of shopping. Didn't buy very much. But just beautiful weather, beautiful people, beautiful food, beautiful bars, hotels, restaurants, beautiful Thai Airways. Absolutely everything about it was beautiful. So I had a great time. Thank you very much for all your emails. People keep saying, I can't wait for you to come back. Hope you had a nice holiday. I did. And I was in this kind of mall. Well, it's not really a mall. It's this giant shopping centre. It's huge. It's called MBK. And it's in Bangkok. And I think it's got something like 3,000 stores. I mean, all the stores are very tiny. There's sort of like market stores, really. But it is, it's a shopping mall, nonetheless. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. I've only ever done 2 floors. I haven't done the other 8 or something like that. It's huge. Anyway, so I've been looking in the handbag shop. So then I walk over back to the jeans shop where my friend's trying on jeans. Standing right by the changing room, walk in. All right, what are you doing here? Sid Owen from EastEnders. Standing in this shop. Now, how bizarre is that?
This is LBC.
Good morning, Carl Newton.
Good morning, Carol.
No, it's not morning, it's
Good
afternoon. The one thing that still does it for me is Heathrow Airport, especially coming home.
Is this a complaint?
I don't know how to turn it into a positive, because there is very little that you can be positive
After
about
a
Heathrow
14-hour
Airport.
flight.
Yeah, well, 12 hours. 12 hours coming back from Bangkok. But the minute you land, I mean, it always takes hours to land anyway, because the airport is so busy that the plane always has to circle round. Or what do they call it? I can't remember what they call that now, but they has to go round and round and round until there's a slot to land in. And most airports I go to around the world, it never happens. The plane, when we landed at Bangkok, we were late because the plane was delayed leaving the UK. That's because it was delayed coming in, so it's nothing really to do with the UK airport. But as we got to Bangkok, they gave us a scheduled time, and it landed exactly on time. And I said to my friend, let's look at the time now, and let's measure it against the amount of time it takes to get out of this airport into the car. And I'm telling you, and without a word of a lie, okay, we didn't have luggage or anything, but I'll compare it. I'll tell you what happened when we came home. It took 20 minutes. Literally, plane lands, out the airport, straight through, immigration, in the car, going to the hotel, 20 minutes.
Bar or car?
Huh?
Bar or car?
No, car. Car, out of airport, into car, on the way to hotel, 20 minutes. Now that's normal for Bangkok Airport. It's never been any longer. So then you come back to Heathrow Airport. You've had a 12-hour flight. You get off. Well, you have to sit on the flight waiting to land for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then you land. And then the plane sort of dances about the runway for about another 20 minutes.
Goes round the M25 four times.
Exactly. Looking for somewhere to park. There's nowhere to park. Oh, well, we're just waiting for a spare, so we can, attach it to, or there's a bus. There's a bus. There's a bus. I hate that. Why should we, in the busiest airport in the entire world, one of the most developed countries in the entire world, why would you have to get off a bus? Why do you have to get on a bus to go to the terminal?
Which drives you about 4 metres.
Well, exactly. So anyway, they found somewhere to park. They parked the aircraft. The things, you walk through. And then it's like a 10-mile walk. It's at least 10 miles. The air conditioning isn't working. It stinks. I can't imagine what people must think the minute they turn up at in this country at Terminal 3, especially Terminal 3. That's the one I use the most. I find it absolutely disgraceful, and it does literally put me in a bit of a mood the minute I get off the plane. But I'll tell you something else as well. Coming out, we still don't have any luggage. We still managed to fit everything into our small hand baggage, which we took on the plane. And even so, it still took over an hour and a half to get out of the airport. Now, I'll tell you why. Because I had a friend coming to pick us up And we were waiting at the drop-off bit. They were going to stop all this soon. With the new security measures, no one's going to be able to drop off or pick up at the airport. You're going to have to go into some holding area. Oh, God knows what they're going to do. Like it isn't chaotic enough. I mean,
or get on a bus.
Or get on a bus. They're going to do park and ride from the airport. Could you imagine how many million passengers a year through Heathrow Airport all going through a car park, getting on a bus? So they are going to stop all that. But it still took, because of the bottleneck and the congestion of the traffic coming into Terminal 3, because the car park's being done up. What they try and do, they make it as difficult as possible, so they force you into the car park, where it's something like £2 a minute to park. Then all you do, you go and you wait for people, because the planes are always delayed. You've got to be in there an hour. You come out, you've got a £40 car park bill. And they want people to do that because they want to get money out of you. So 20 minutes Bangkok, nearly an hour and a half for Heathrow, just because of the... I mean, do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I mean, I'm not complaining or anything.
You're just voicing an opinion on Terminal 3 at Heathrow, which has negative connotations.
What I'm doing is I'm telling you what it's like. That's what happens. And, you know, when we were talking about the subject of these new security measures, Gordon Brown announced this week, as you know, 53 new questions for everybody coming in and leaving the country every time. How quite they're going to know you're telling the truth, I'm not sure. Who are you travelling with? Well, you could just say anyone, couldn't you? What are they going to do? Check everyone? They can't. It's impossible. People tell lies. And the people who tell the biggest lies the best are the terrorists, for crying out loud. It absolutely makes my blood boil. And if people sit on, they sit on Loose Women, they go, yeah, but I think it's a good idea because I want to be safe when I get on that and I'm like, Zoe Tyler, have you been to an airport lately? Have you seen how chaotic it is already without having to have these extra checks?
Soon enough, you'll have to go away for 2 weeks and allow a week, 4 days
away.
either side in the airport.
But the thing is with UK airports, when you travel a lot, as I do, and you do as well, and you see airports around the world and how they work and how efficient they are, especially, I have to say, in Asia. Where they just don't, they are geared up for tourism. They like to have people visit their country. And so they make the best of everything as far as travel and convenience is concerned. And Bangkok, Thailand, they just decided that the airport that they had, the Don Mueang airport, was too small. So what did they do? They found a site, a convenient site somewhere else, and they just built a new one. A massive, great, big, new airport. Now, what we do is we kind of knock a little bit of Terminal 3 down and rebuild a little bit of it in the meantime, inconveniencing everybody. When in actual fact, what I think they should do is find a site somewhere, right? Doesn't matter how far away it is, because they have the technology now, as they do in Shanghai, to have the magnetic trains, the maglev, right, which go at 500 kilometres an hour. So you just get these trains, get 2 lines going back and forth to the airport from central London, indeed from anywhere you like, and you've got a brand new airport, massive, right, in the middle of somewhere where you don't have the traffic from the M4, you don't have all this inconvenience. And what makes me laugh about Heathrow Airport is they've built a new terminal. Like it isn't congested enough. Now, what makes them think that Terminal 5 is going to be any better?
Or 6, or 7, or 8.
Or 7. They've still only got 2 runways.
But you know what makes me laugh? With their 2 runways, when you look at departures, there's about 18 flights leaving at 12.
Yeah.
19 flights leaving at 12:05.
That's right.
Well, it can't happen. Logistically, you can't have 9 flights taking off at the same time.
It doesn't happen, but in actual fact, that's the slot. That's their slot, so that's what...
So it's all a scramble.
It's like, well, whoever gets there first gets to take off first. I actually think, now this it's a terrible thing to say, but I can't help thinking it. Every time I come into Heathrow Heathrow Airport, I think, is a really big accident waiting to happen. Because it's too big, it's too congested. It's run on the cheap, let's be honest. It is owned, BAA, it's owned by a Spanish conglomerate. And they are trying to cut back on expenses. That's why there aren't enough staff. That's why there aren't enough security points open. There's lots of reasons. And I don't like the idea of that. When I fly into Singapore, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Sydney, any of those places, you just know it's not a problem. And when you come in, I'm not trying to put people off travelling. No, Gordon Brown's doing a good enough job of that. He's trying to restrict travel. This is what the communists did. They stopped people from travelling because they didn't want them to see how great everywhere else was.